Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather is often hailed as a crime epic, but beneath its operatic violence lies a profound expression of political power, one that resonates uncannily with Niccolò Machiavelli's philosophy. Both dismantle moral idealism, replacing it with a cool appraisal of what survival and authority demand. Through Michael Corleone's transformation from reluctant son to calculating don, The Godfather dramatizes Machiavelli's philosophy of virtue, fortune, and necessity, the triad that defines effective rule. Careful, spoilers ahead. For Machiavelli, fortune is part of life. Events are constantly changing. Sometimes we can control them, and sometimes we are controlled by them. Virtue appears not as moral, but as the capacity to shape this fortune through decisive actions. In The Godfather, Michael embodies virtues as he learns to master chaos, bending circumstances to his will. His father, Vito Corleone, is a paragon of Machiavellian prudence, respected rather than feared, guided by a code that merges benevolence and intimidation. Yet, when Vito's virtue, rooted in personal loyalty and ritualized power, proves inadequate against modern corporate brutality, Michael redefines what it means to be wise. He abandons the old world sentimentality, embracing the cold rationality that Machiavelli attributes to founders of states. For Machiavelli, the pressure of necessity forces rulers to act beyond moral constraints. If a leader wants to accomplish the goal of order and stability, the most essential ones, he must use any necessary means. The Corleone family's violence is never depicted as sadistic excess, but as compelled by circumstance. It's not personal, it's strictly business, Michael insists, a Machiavellian mantra that captures the tragic logic of power. In the moral universe of The Godfather, virtue and evil are less opposites than tools. What matters is efficacy, not purity. In the baptism sequence, where Michael renounces Satan even as his men murder his enemies, Coppola visualizes the perfect Machiavellian paradox. The ruler must appear pious while committing ruthless acts of necessity. Michael's serene face amid sacrilege embodies virtue, the capacity to act against mercy, faith, and humanity when the preservation of power and the maintenance of order requires it. Coppola's cinematic style underscores this logic. Chiaroscuro lighting renders the Corleone home a space of both warmth and menace, where love and domination coexist. The film's slow tempo mirrors the deliberation of a Machiavellian mind, calculating, waiting for fortune to turn. Every gesture of affection is also an act of control. Every promise of peace conceals a strategy of domination. By the film's end, Michael has become a modern prince, feared, obeyed, isolated. The door closing on Kay is not only a domestic tragedy, but a political image, the ruler sealed off from ordinary human bonds. In Machiavellian terms, Michael achieves perfect sovereignty, but at the cost of his soul. Coppola thus exposes the existential void at the heart of Machiavellian power. Mastery of fortune requires renouncing the self. The Corleone empire, like the state described by Machiavelli, endures only through perpetual vigilance, deceit, and violence. The film therefore operates as both a confirmation and a critique of Machiavellian realism. It acknowledges the necessity of ruthlessness while mourning its human cost. Power, The Godfather suggests, can be conquered and maintained, but never without corruption, solitude, and tragedy. In this sense, viewed through a Machiavellian lens, The Godfather transcends this genre to become a philosophical parable about the nature of political rule. Michael Corleone is not simply a gangster, but a modern prince, a figure who learns that to govern effectively, one must learn how not to be good. Coppola's masterpiece thus transforms Machiavelli's Renaissance treatise into cinematic tragedy, the story of a man who gains the world but loses his humanity in the process. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to keep track of other videos. Don't hesitate to leave a comment or to contact me if you want to know more. See you next time!